The Lagos State's First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, inducted over 700 students from primary and secondary schools into the Young Farmers Club, aiming to foster a passion for agriculture among the youth. This initiative supports Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu's vision to encourage students to embark or embrace modern farming techniques and contribute to national food security and economic diversification. Speaking at the induction ceremony that was held in conjunction with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems to celebrate World Food Day, Dr. Sanwo-Olu emphasized agriculture's critical role in Nigeria's economy, calling it a vital foundation for sustenance. All right, remember that during her speech, she praised the Senator Tinubu's commitment. She praised Tinubu's commitment to enhancing the lives of Nigerian families through various initiatives. All right, this is an achievement in this particular field when we talk about agriculture, but I would like to get your thoughts on this story, how you think this will get to impact the lives, especially the lives of these students, there's 700 students, over 700 students that have been inducted in this club.
You know, anyway, we won't stop talking about agriculture and food production so long as there is life, and then we want Nigeria to thrive and to grow. Agriculture is one paramount sector that we cannot do without. You know, at times when we look at agricultural moves, development initiatives and policies by relevant government agencies, both private and the public sector, you know, when we analyze some of them, we discover that there's always a gap in some of those policies. Now, what Lagos State government or the First Lady of Lagos State is doing is not out of place. It's not new also. While we commend that initiative, we must not also fail to pinpoint some essential thing that needs to be considered. You induct 700, students into the Young Farmers Club. That's powerful. That's wonderful. But can this particular student toe that line as they begin to grow, as they begin to advance? What actually can they see? What can influence them? What can motivate them to now venture into that particular sector? You know, we keep telling the government that the government has to live by example. It is a laudable initiative, it's a very good one, but I am considering the current state of Nigeria, the way Nigerian economy and the way agricultural development in Nigeria has been. After this initiative, once the student leaves secondary school, how many of them are at the point of preparing for admission into higher institution? How many of them will want to voluntarily, take up agriculture as a field of study?
Are you talking about the activities in that particular club not being encouraging enough to make the children want to endeavor in agriculture?
I'm going to get to where I'm going to. That's part of it. Okay, let me quickly hit the nail on the head. Now, setting up Young Farmers Club or inducting students into Young Farmers Club is not the major motivating factor. Students, human beings, are easily influenced by what they see, which has a major role to play, in determining their level of conviction. Now, if at the end of the day, Ministry of Agriculture has no place, has no significant farm, producing farms that will encourage this to look, what we are telling you people is working, we are doing it. Believe me, it will just be a mere ceremony. So the government should go beyond whoever that is ready to invest in agriculture. We commend that. But we should go beyond the point of just telling people to do it. How about you? Are you doing it? The one you're doing, how sustainable is it? What's the impact of what you're doing? Can people say, yes, we know you for this particular activity. We know that this is what you're producing. So that is what we should be looking at. Once this is done, believe me, people on their own will be longing for. Agriculture has come to the point where we don't need to beg people. We don't need to make agriculture look like a less appreciated discipline or cause. If we want to boost agriculture, there is need for practical, and decisive move. Something that people should, see and then commend the gesture. Why I'm sounding like this? Because as an agriculturist, as a professional in this field, the issue of Young Farmers Club is not new. And we are beginning to think that some personalities use it just to, you know, just to let it be, that let the public see that we are doing something agricultural wise.
Okay.
And
let me quickly bring Kenneth into this one. The activities in the Young Farmers Club, are you aware of any? Because Love Day has made reference to this. Some people just using it as camouflage to just show that they are working in whatever field or leadership position that they have. But are you aware of any of these activities in the Young Farmers Club? Do they do practicals? I'd like to get your thoughts on this one.
Okay, I really love what he's saying. You know, the point of what he's trying to make is sustainability. It's not about just saying you're inducting 700 students into Farmers Club. What about the existing farmers group? What about the Young Farmers Association that has been there? Then, how does it 700 be? Was it selected from the states? You know, you can't just come up and get something out of nothing. There must be something for others to rest on. So what I thought should have been the best is for university should have found some youth Young Farmers Association groups already exist, like ours. We have the State Young Farmers Association, and I believe we have affirmed all farmers associations of Nigeria. So what there are already systems and structures that are governing these things. What the first lady of should have done is just go through these means, go through these systems, go through this structure, so that it doesn't be another elementary project. You know? So what we are saying is that I haven't even seen some of these things happening, like when they say in each home a garden, that they are going to get the best garden to 20 million award. You know, I was thinking that the social media should have put up some states after their garden, showing some people then showing how they cannot get the best home garden that will win awards. Nothing has been done. So we are still thinking about how can I find the best garden and award the 20 million that we have said already. As we are still bothering and thinking about that, we are hearing this one again and president has been inducted to the Farmers Club. How? You know, things are not good. Still Farmers Club really. Okay, like ours now, I know this year we are going to secondary schools to teach them sack farming, to teach them modern means of farming. And I've already written a letter to the first lady of my state telling her that we are ready to work with her so that this renewed hope initiative of His Excellency the President can survive. But the way it's being done, it seems as if it's another politics that they're trying to play. It seems as if they're not yet serious with tackling the problem. This is the fire brigade approach to what is happening now. The extent of food insecurity in Nigeria doesn't need this kind of approach. We should go deeper. We should go deeper. There are already existing young farmers club in Nigeria. You know, so why can't she just go through those means, ask them what have you been doing so far, what are your challenges? Let's come in, because I believe the person is not a farmer. So where is she getting this information?
Okay, let me come in here now, Kenneth. Let me come in now. Remember that she did not do this alone. This is in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture. So if there was any loophole or any structure that she needed to follow, like you have said, the Ministry of Agriculture supporting, what happened to them coming in there? Because that is their field. They're the experts in that particular field.
Okay, yes. Now, see, now we now have what they call civil service bureaucracy. Now, this information is not trickling down to the grassroots. If at the Abuja level, the federal level, they have said, okay, they want to put this through the Ministry of Agriculture, what about the state? Is it getting to the state? Because I know for sure that my state is not doing this, and I know for sure that there are several states that have not heard about this, and they have not keyed into this initiative. So what are they doing? So it boils down to the initiator of this idea. Everything rises and falls on leadership, according to what John Maxwell would say. So what I'm saying is that it boils down on the first lady of the first lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to now say, okay, this is where we are erring. Why can't we involve these commissioners in their different states so that they can now ask how we can get this thing to make it effective? This is good, but it's not effective.
All right, thank you very much for your thoughts on that one.
It's effective.
Okay. I love that. He
Yes.
talked about going deeper. And you know, I saw you nodding affirmation to
Yeah.
that particular statement, going
Yeah.
deeper.
You know, we that are into advocacy will keep talking, even when it seems some of the things we're talking is not being adhered to. But somehow, when you see some policies, you just feel okay. We're making a little moves. You know, when we talk about, or like my colleague said about going deeper, it goes beyond the periphery, just setting up or inducting. And that's the point I was trying to make. Issue of sustainability, there are structures. You know, I'm somehow worried that when it comes to field of agriculture, you know, the way you see people act or behave, it appears as if there are no professionals in the field. Because once you engage the right professional, they know what to do. The right professionals know what to do. Going deeper simply means partnership and trying to make do with the existing structures.
Who could be the better person to partner with than the Ministry of Agriculture?
Now that is the problem we're also having. Now the Ministry of Agriculture is there. But if you critically look at that ministry, you discover that, you know, some of the ministries of agriculture, not all, you discover that they lack professionalism in the field of agriculture. And the reason is simply as a result of, you know, those core professionals not manning sensitive position. And the issue of let's just do it to please the government of the day. In recent time, I've seen that, especially in the Ministry of Agriculture, they do not scrutinize and critically assess government policies on agriculture because they want to retain their office as commissioners or whatever. But it's not supposed to be so. You are a professional. You have been engaged, you know, to oversee the operations of that particular field. So once the government comes up with a policy, peradventure the government imports knowledge from abroad, like we also know they do at times, without considering what is obtainable, you are there to say, oh, my boss, this one will not work here. If you're a core professional, this particular knowledge this one will not flow. It will not sell within our geographical location. But in a situation whereby the person manning that particular ministry is not a core professional, what do you expect? So everything goes. Whatever that is being presented, they will swallow hook, line, and sinker. And let me also state it here. We have also heard, we have also seen where some of the blueprint released by the government, you know, that has to do with the Ministry of Agriculture, Agricultural Development, were not authored by the ministry. At times they hire consultants. Sometimes their media aid goes online, extract materials and compile, and then they push to. It's wrong. It's wrong. That is some of the things that is also affecting agriculture in Nigeria and some of the states. So once you want to develop a blueprint, it shouldn't come from top to bottom. It should come from the bottom. I'm talking about agriculture at the state level. The Minister of Agriculture is where this policy should come. And the Ministry of Agriculture will not also raise the policy. They will have to pass through the extension agent, get to the grassroots, get to the farmers, you know, get insight via the extension agent. This is what the farmers are going through. This is the kind of technology, this is the challenge that the farmers are having. Okay, this is where we are agriculturally on so and so enterprise, and this is where we intend to move. That's how the information should flow. And then it gets to the State Minister of Agriculture. They will now fine-tune and present to the Executive Council or to the government, who will now do the final touching and do amendment where necessary, depending on the philosophy and agenda of that particular government. So, talking about agriculture in general terms, we are very much worried that issue that has to do with agriculture by the government, you know, are not being handled professionally. We know what to do. We know what should be done. So when we see things not going the way it should go, at times we find it difficult to talk or to explain because even the time given on the media will not be enough to digest and analyze some of these
like
things.
Like Enidoye now is telling you, okay, let's move on. But then back to what the First Lady has done. She did this to improve That's to help the children get interested in agriculture.
We are not seeing it like, see, everybody knows that food is important. That's the point I want Nigerians to understand and our government. There is no child that will go to school without it and the child will feel comfortable. So the children knows that food is important, and all they need to know is that what will help to put food on your table is agriculture.
But you're not building that interest in the next generation.
The interest won't just come by some of this ceremony we do. Do you know where the interest will come? Once the student and the children start seeing that, our government is doing so and so thing on agriculture. The Minister of Agriculture has so and so farm. As you're talking to them, you're taking them, they are seeing things for themselves.
Okay, let me also ask Kenneth what he expects, right? How do we get to build this interest in these children? Remember the aim for what she has done. Let's look at what you expected and how exactly you feel this interest can be better built in these children.
Number one is school garden. What happens with school? What can they be school garden, school farm, not the school? What can they have smart schools that have the technology that can inspect seeds and seedlings? So these are the things that inspire interest in young people that are still in school. Not this to me sounds like normal thing that they do. If
of
you
course.
want to actually get this thing right, then go to the schools. Let all the secondary schools, the nursery schools, primary schools catch them young. Start giving them assignments on their work on their school gardens.
Isn't that what they will be doing in this farmers club? Isn't that part of the activities that they carry out in the farmers club?
That is the aim of this farmers club is to inspire interest in agriculture. I believe so. It's not a club to come and talk and discuss agriculture. Agriculture is practical.
Definitely.
Agriculture is a culture. It's not where we come and have meetings and talk and break cola nuts and drink and go home. No. As a farmer, one should live and wake up in his farmland. The reason why we have start farming is we are bringing agriculture to the homes of everybody. So this should just be something that say and we are doing this and it goes. So let's see the impact. Let's start well. Once we start well, you finish well. They should go back to the nursery schools, go back to the secondary schools, go back to the
All right, Kenneth, thank you so much for your thoughts on that one. Love Day, before we move on, I would still like you to tell us what you expect.
Okay, what I expect is quite simple.
In bringing the next generation in.
Yes. It's quite simple. Agriculture is not to be verbalized. It's not something that is just, to be written. Agriculture is something that should be done. It's a doing course. Agriculture is a profession that you need to go into it. You need to do it yourself. Young Farmers Club is not new, like I said before. We had, prior to this time, proposed to the state government that we are ready to establish school farms across the schools.
Really?
Yes, in Rivers State, but nothing was done. You see, that is why when we talk, it's like we talk too much. We're not talking too much, especially I, for one. We know the little effort we have made in order to ensure that agriculture comes to limelight. And that's why I can say boldly that most of our government, they are not yet ready to advance agriculture.
And to think that some of these public schools have the land, they have the field.
But there is no
and then
platform.
they have a teacher who teaches agriculture. So I'm wondering what they teach the children aside practice.
What is
theory
before you wonder the curriculum? What is it like? You understand the point? What's the curriculum like? Do we have provision for practicals? Do we have provision for core assessment based on practical? So what I expect is that there should be more of practical. For instance, the picture we saw, if we had seen vegetable farms, maize farms grown by a Young Farmers Club, good, I would have applauded the initiative. That means it is not new, and that is why this one will not make us change our philosophy.
Thank you.
It has been there, and if up till now there is nothing to show that this is what Young Farmers Club has been producing, that means it's still one of those political systems.